Get all the burps out now, champ. That'll make the
Mate.
podcast even better.
That was a 50-50 burp sick, that was a...
Oh, I love a good old burp sick, burp sick, burp sick, and then you just vomit on a child in the supermarket.
I see. Is that one when you went down to Sainsbury's earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead
Is
of
that
getting
why
my
you were
dinner
so
for tonight-
quick?
Instead of getting
Yeah,
my
you had
dinner
to get
for tonight, it
Chinese.
was just like a...
You had to get Chinese tonight simply because you puked all over a child and trying to get you dinner for tonight in Sainsbury's.
Mummy, can I have some Halloween gifts? Yeah, put it in this pot.
Anyway,
You
well,
cried. Do you want me to start this, or do you want to start it?
I can start if you really want.
Go on
It's
then,
the Will and Tom show, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you think we should be casual or formal?
We'll be cash, but
Or
smart
should we try?
cash.
Or should we try and get a large black following by going Wagwan Jamaica,
Wagwang tings.
Wagwan
Alright,
Anting?
alright.
It is a Tom. This is the Tom and Will Show farm.
Or like to get more of a black audience, we could just talk about, robbing and jerk chicken.
You see, I wouldn't have laughed if you hadn't put in jerk chicken because that was comedic genius there.
I've been practicing my sit downs.
All right.
Before we start, can I just
Yep.
say, I'm a very judgmental person, right?
So am I.
But a person walked outside the front of my flats,
Yeah.
to get my Chinese, and the person who was delivering my Chinese, I looked out there and I saw a man waiting outside his van, and I was like, oh god, I hope it's not that guy in the van. No way is it that guy in the van. It was the guy in the
was.
van. Now, I'm not a judgmental person, but I was being judgmental then, and I just want to apologise to him, to myself, but most importantly, to you, Tom,
Fuck you. Is
if you want to.
Oh.
Get cock out. Yeah, the Tom and Will Show F1 edition.
Yeah. 5 stars. Talking about being judgmental, nothing to do with F1. 5 stars.
Oh,
Slight bit of judgmental, slight bit of racism. 5 stars all round, boys. 6 stars.
donation right there. Have you started by any chance?
I have been recording for the past 10 minutes, but
Alright, so welcome to the Will and Tom Show F1 edition podcast. We are both virgins and we both like to talk about F1. So, Tom, what did you think to the race in total?
the start was alright, the middle was boring, but the end was decent. It was an
agree.
average. It was an alright race. It was probably one of the better ones this year. Actually, I don't know. This year's been pretty decent for racing.
The thing is, it was no Azerbaijan at all.
No, I
But
don't
it
think
was
you
no
could get
Russia.
another Azerbaijan. Don't think you could get... Russia wasn't bad towards the end because there was the sort of
But
will he
one
be
person,
overtake or not.
there was
Yeah,
only one overtake from after the first lap, or there wasn't an overtake or whatever, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I don't think we're going to get another Azerbaijan unless it's another Montreal 2012 situation.
Yeah, 2011.
2011
Fucking
situation.
hell.
I'm
So-
sorry, man.
So Lewis Hamilton, he needs to beat Vettel by 17 points in the next race to win the championship. Now, people keep on saying that Vettel has deserved this championship. Well, I've seen people in fucking Reddit and stuff. I actually go on Reddit sometimes. I'm crazy.
Oh, look at
I know.
you, cultured.
But
So cultured.
so but if Vettel, apart from his breakdowns, if he was supposedly the fastest person on the grid, deserving of the championship, he would have beaten Hamilton today. It's plain and simple. It's Hamilton's stomping ground, and to be world champion, you need to beat people on their own stomping ground. And he just didn't do that today. So I think also Hamilton has been so consistent, apart from the occasional 4th place, 5th place, twice this season or something, that he's been 4th or 5th. He's not finished outside the points yet, Hamilton.
I think this season has been this championship. I think Vettel should have won it. I think I'm not saying he was almost a shoe into it, but he should have won it.
Yeah.
He should have. I think he should have won it earlier on in the season because it's obvious that the Mercedes engine is so much better than the Ferrari and the Renault engine. You could see it on the straight when I wrote this down.
Terrible.
Wrote it down like on the fucking where was it? What lap was it? It was lap because I did a full play by play.
Professional, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it was the.
You want a good review?
It was. I know, right? It was lap. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember what lap it was, but basically the point I was making was. It was when Raikkonen was trying to pass Bottas, and you could just see, like, he was in DRS, but he just fucking drove. DRS, catching, nowhere near. It's like half a second behind him. Catching, but still pretty nowhere near.
Yeah.
He still wasn't able to do an overtake until he was literally right on his bumper.
But do you not think also, Valtteri Bottas, what has happened to that man?
I think today he was basically just sacrificed to help Hamilton. I don't think the reason why he performed badly today is because if you have a look when he was kept out to hold up Raikkonen and hold up Vettel, and he did a pretty good job of that, I think, especially holding up Raikkonen.
I missed all of that because I didn't do a lap by lap analysis like you did because I was too busy apologising to my girlfriend about being about saying.
Oh, she is now, isn't she?
Bath and grass and
But for everyone
stuff.
that doesn't know, Will has recently broken up with me. And we're only doing this for the money. Will's broken up with me, so we shouldn't really be talking to each other
But I'm
anymore.
gonna kill it.
Yeah, I know. I've already killed it.
Sacrificed it to the gods to get you back.
No, pet insurance is far too much. And I couldn't be asked to pay for food, so
you just put it in the blender and it was like.
No, I just left it in a dark room with no food, no walks or anything. It shit itself to death.
It ate its own shit.
Oh, the dogs normally do that. But anyway, yeah, I thought that Vettel should have won this title because the Ferrari was faster on the circuits where the Mercedes engine advantage isn't as much. Like America, I think the circuit of the Americas, Mercedes was always going to dominate because sure there's fast corners, but there's big long straights, and it's Hamilton's favourite. You have a look at other tracks where they've done pretty well, and it's just the straights. As soon as it's a straight long track, it's fine. Monaco, Singapore before they fucked it, tracks like that where it's sort of more downforce heavy, Mercedes have struggled. But Ferrari have not pushed their advantage like they should have.
But every single track's Hamilton's favourite, though, so you can't really say that because, like,
yeah, no.
The best
every single track's fans are the favourite. Thank you very much.
Yeah, best fans here in the world.
Yeah.
How you all doing today? My name's Lewis Hamilton, and I'm a cunt. Sorry.
I've got a little thing here which I found quite fun. I saw on Facebook earlier. Alonso was paying tribute today to his Indy 500 run with his helmet design and the fact he had a Honda engine failure.
Oh, speaking of that is so. It makes me so angry. Just
he could have had such a good race today. He was fighting up in 6th, 7th, 8th. He qualified top 10. He was up for it, but then it just fuck. The most disappointing one. I know Alonso was this, but Ricciardo.
Yeah.
I nearly cried when I saw him.
I didn't realise what happened. I literally just saw that he had.
Oh man!
I was eating my Skittles and I was just like, "What? What's happened?" Ricciardo! No!
Like his lap 4 when he literally did that massive dive bomb.
Oh my god!
It was literally hairpin time. As soon as I heard hairpin time,
it is complete F1 2016. Where
it was. It's like
roast it, no damage on, and you just roast out the inside.
But oh my god, I saw that, and then I also noticed Raikkonen was sort of lurking behind, just like. Ooh. Then Hulkenberg dropped out for Renault, which was a bit disappointing.
What happened with him? Because you only just.
I think it was engine. I think. I'm not too sure. I didn't really care. It's Hulkenberg, but I think even though he didn't get third, the driver of the day has to be Max Verstappen. From 16th up to 4th.
So what did you think to his move?
I thought that he should have been penalised.
I completely agree.
Personally, he should have been penalised. I think he should have just waited, personally.
There wasn't really much more of an opportunity. The last two corners you can't overtake on
last corner.
You can't do that unless your name's Carlos Sainz.
Last corner you probably could. It's a heavy braking zone. You get onto the inside.
Yeah, but Raikkonen would just park in the apex, and then there's no way that if Verstappen can out-track Raikkonen to the line with his running.
I don't know. He had newer tyres though, so he would have picked up the traction better. And Raikkonen was also saving fuel and was going very slowly.
It's such a short bit to the line, though. I don't know. I mean,
I think it would have been a 50-50. But, I saw at the start, right at the start, Vettel got a brilliant start, and he was 1.3 seconds ahead of Hamilton after the first lap.
Yeah.
But what the fuck happened to Vettel?
That 5 tenths in...
I wrote that on lap 1. Great start from Vettel. And then lap 6, I was like, what the fuck has happened with Vettel? What the fuck has happened with Vettel?
Tom, mate, that's so in-depth analysis. Good start from Vettel.
Because, what else can you say? It was a brilliant start.
Gorgeous man. I quite like the beard that he's got now. His short hair makes me happy.
He seems a lot funnier now than he was at Red Bull. He seems a lot happier than he was at Red Bull.
He was funny at Red Bull.
He was quite funny at Red Bull, but everyone hated him at Red Bull. Everyone liked him.
Because he's a Nazi. But like,
yeah, man, definitely.
But speaking of
Nazis,
yeah. Oh, a really good point, Tom. You've really...
Max Mosley. No,
you really ruined. What, the one who killed Ayrton Senna? But...
Speaking of the sniper rifle.
Speaking of Nazis, Sauber. So.
Fuck you, Peter Sauber. We know your secret.
How did you get your money? You found the gold train. So Sauber. What happened to them at the start? They were a monster in it. They got ahead of Verstappen.
I think they had a really good start.
Yeah.
True.
Verline got tonked.
I've actually written down that it was quite a disappointment. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave my Sauber review and all my reviews for all the other teams till later. But they started quite well. But as the race went on, I reckon they started with a quite light fuel load, if I'm honest, and they went for I reckon
fuel saving.
Verline does what you do basically on F1. Start with light. No, seriously, start with a light fuel load and get track position, because Verline was one stopping, wasn't he? He was going to try because he started on the softs.
Yeah.
Only one in the field too.
That worked.
Because of that, I think he was going to try and get decent track position, and then sort of see what he could do from there on a light fuel load. Sort of start really quickly and then ease your way through the race.
Yeah.
But he got fucked in the first corner or so, which kind of ruined his entire race, and he retired.
Yeah.
And then Ericsson he's not good enough for F1.
His move that he did when Vettel lapped him, I think that actually K-Mag could have given him a bit more room. That was very clever.
K-Mag could have given him more room, but it was clever. But I don't think he should have tried it.
I would have tried it. Fucking hairpin time, boy.
Hairpin time, yeah, but I think K-Mag was more bothered on Vettel coming through than he was on Ericsson. And so as soon as he saw Vettel going through, he turned in. And that wasn't his first priority. Personally, I don't think he's not a very great driver.
Oh, yeah, Ericsson, he's worse than the fucking shits I get after a curry. But he,
they smell pretty nice.
Was still good. Well, yeah, I know. I inhale my own farts.
Yeah.
But Tom, can I just sort of... I've got a bit of a rant to do, if you want to.
What's your rant on?
Well, partly on my chicken chow mein, because I've got to the bits where it's just onions and that green stuff. Not bad.
Spring onion.
Spring onion, there you go. 2 different types of onion. Love them both, but not really in a chicken chow mein.
Or maybe, bean, what are they called? Beanstalk?
No, they're spring onions, But that's not the point. Well, the point is Lewis Hamilton. This is a man who is undoubtedly one of the best F1 drivers that have ever graced a Formula 1 car. He is... Yeah. Oh, hang on. Sorry. He is very quick. He is an ethnic minority, which is good now. And he is... genuinely, he seems pretty cool. Seemed pretty cool. Yeah. But now, he is a complete and utter dick.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's this season that's changed it for me. Last season, I preferred him to Rosberg. I wanted him to win the title completely.
Oh yeah, because Rosberg's a cheating German bastard.
Your dad's words exactly.
Yeah, he voted you.
No, like I can imagine.
All right.
I liked him last year. Last year, I thought, he's a good driver. He's the best driver they've been in quite a while. He's such a good driver.
Yeah.
But this year, he's just turned into such a prick.
An American.
Nothing wrong with being American. I want to be an American.
Yeah, I know. What? Like George Bush is going to listen to this, but
he was president fucking 10 years ago.
Not very good with social media, but
what? That has nothing to do with it. And anyway, your major thing you think you know how to do is social media. Mention how I said thinks knows how to do. You know how to do. But,
Tom, for this podcast, my inspiration, I've got him up on my laptop, is Narain Karthikeyan. Alright? I've got a photo of him smirking at me, so don't you dare.
Mate, I've got Karan Chandhok right here with me as well. It's okay.
You're welcome. But, so Lewis Hamilton, dislike the man. Every single time he gets up on the podium, it's his favourite crowd, and I really, really hate that. Because it's just so fake. He's just doing it so fake. And like today with Usain Bolt, when Usain Bolt came on the podium, he was just like, "Oh yeah, you are my idol. You were the only one I ever thought of. Oh my god, yeah. Show me how to do the Bolt." And he poured like champagne down his back and stuff. I was like, "Yeah, man, we're G's because we met each other once. Yeah, we're busy mates." I hung out with Neymar once because he doesn't even speak English. And it's just like, why does he feel the need to show off all the time and like pose? Everyone else was walking out having a great old time, and he was like walking out like he was Anthony Joshua or Conor McGregor going into the boxing ring. Well, I'm surprised he didn't come out with a balaclava like Floyd Mayweather. What a doze! What an absolute doze! I want to burn off his fingerprints. Like he is such an annoying person.
I think the thing that's happened with Hamilton is when he was in 2008. 2007, 2008, new onto this, he was grounded. New driver, won his title, he was ecstatic. 2009, he was annoyed because the car was shit.
And
rightfully so. Yeah, in Australia, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, very much love.
He was sort of, he was fucked off, okay? Not a great season. 2010, 11, 12, he was still at McLaren, still trying, they gave him decent cars.
He should have won the championship with them because of reliability.
The reliability was just awful. He was sort of constantly grounded. When it came to 2013 as well, I think 2013 he was still like the same kind of. It was becoming less grounded, but he was still kind of all right. But as soon as it went to 2014, 15, 16, 17, because of the front row domination, everyone's just been heaping praise on him, rather than giving him any sort of criticism whatsoever.
Do you want to know what it also is? In his McLaren thing, because they're very professional McLaren, they're super, like, you know how they're really anal about everything. That he was super, like, he couldn't go out, like they had him on a proper regime, everything like that. Mercedes, part of his contract, because everyone wanted Lewis Hamilton, because he was this really good selling point, that part of his contract was that he didn't have to be grounded. Like, he would have to keep in shape, he would have to do all this stuff, but it wouldn't have to be as strictly managed as he was in McLaren. And now, because of that, because he's had no one saying, right, Lewis, you don't drive in a LaFerrari around, you're not part of Ferrari, because no one's saying that stuff to him. He thinks he can do whatever he wants.
He thinks he can do whatever he wants, and there's the fact that he's just, as I said, no one's criticised him. I mean, he's had a bit of criticism here and there, but nothing on the level of others.
Yeah. Rosberg got booed at every single race. Hamilton got booed once. And I don't think that was at Germany. Like, he just got booed at, I can't remember what race it was, but he just got booed and he was like, I don't really care. I think it was Hungary. No, not Hungary. It was a race where basically he like won the race, and I don't know why, but they just started booing, which is good. Actually,
but he didn't get anything. He was just he's become an absolute wanker. And the thing is, I think what's happened with Vettel is that was Vettel. I didn't like Vettel. I thought he was too arrogant. He was too, I'm the best driver there is.
Doesn't have to listen to the rules.
since he's been moved down to 2014, I think was a massive kick in the teeth for Vettel.
Ricardo
like that kind of that and the fact that the Red Bull was shit.
Yeah, no, but Ricardo grounded him and won 3 times.
It grounded him completely though, didn't it? Yeah. It was sort of. And now you see Vettel. I like Vettel now. I liked him since he's been at Ferrari. I think he's a completely different man to who he was in 2011, 2012.
Yeah. I completely agree.
So basically, all right, I've got a little thing for you now. I wrote this during the middle of the race when it was really boring.
Yeah. Was it a poem to me?
No. Next season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you like to see from each of the different teams next season? So I've got the list here. So Mercedes. What would you like to see Mercedes do next year?
A brief 1 sentence on each one.
Just have a quick bit of talk. I've put for Mercedes. I really hope this isn't because the last few races Mercedes have been so dominant.
Yeah.
Hamilton has. I really hope this isn't a return to 2014, 15, 16. Really hope it isn't.
Do you know what I want to see from next year? Actually.
What?
No Valtteri Bottas in Mercedes. I love him, but no Valtteri Bottas.
He signed a contract though, hasn't he?
I know, but that's what I want to see.
Yeah. Like...
I like the kid. But
I think the only reason they got Bottas on a 1-year deal was because they wanted Verstappen in 2019, but now he's signed a new 3-year contract to Red Bull. It's throwing things in their plan into the air.
Exactly. But next year, I would like to see Bottas step up.
What? So, I'm on the F1 subreddit when I'm recording this, and I've just had a look at Jos Verstappen's Twitter.
Yeah.
Have you seen what he's tweeted?
No.
This is bullshit. Sorry, this sucked. Shame on you, FIA. Obviously, F1 doesn't know what racing is. Is that a Coors Light, Will?
No. Do you know what it is? Like you're drinking to get a bit rowdy. I'm drinking Pepsi to get a bit rowdy because I'm going to have a diabetic fit in a minute, and that makes me mega rowdy. So yeah, get ready for a sudden just hearing.
Next season, Ferrari. What do you think they're going to do next season? Do you reckon they've gone too far out for this season?
And what do I want them to do? Or what do I think?
Both. What do you want them to do, and what do you think? Do you think they've gone too far out this season, or do you think the reason why Mercedes have been so dominant at the end of the season is because they've switched development to 2018?
I want Ferrari to broaden their horizons. I want them to have an actual second team next year.
Which is probably Sauber.
Yeah, which is probably Sauber Alfa Romeo. But I also want them to improve on their consistency. I don't care about the performance. I just want them to improve on their consistency.
Yeah, they have been inconsistent, to be fair.
That's what's lost in the championship. Like Mercedes are used to being at the front, but Ferrari really aren't.
I'd like to see Ferrari at the front. I think they should be at the front. They're a Ferrari team. When they've been sort of fighting with Force India and stuff, that's not Ferrari. That's not where they should be, basically. I don't think Ferrari should be there. I think Ferrari should be at the front.
I don't think that anyone deserves to be at the front.
No one deserves to be at the front, but they should be at the front.
It's nice to see them at the front, like McLaren being at the front and stuff like that, but I don't think anybody deserves anything in F1, because if you think you deserve it, then you're not in the right sport.
I don't think they deserve to be at the front. No, if they're shit, but they should be at the front. As in, they should be aiming constantly every year. Their aims should be at the front. And if they're third or fourth, then they're not doing fine. They're not doing okay. They need to have a serious look at themselves.
Yeah.
Red Bull, I want them to be up there next season. They've showed really good late pace this season. Like with Verstappen's win in Malaysia, you got things like they've shown they do have a decent package, or they have shown late in the season this season that they have.
Their chassis is superb. I'm really happy with the way that Red Bull have been doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean the Renault engine, it's pretty shit, but it's not. It's pretty shit, but you know.
Well,
I think me and you both predicted that Red Bull were going to stonk it this year, didn't we? Because we thought it's new aero stuff. It's going to be Adrian Newey.
Are still so well.
As the Mercedes Ferrari thing is shown, some of the tracks, the engines are still very important.
But also, because now it's Aston Martin, Red Bull next year, so Red Bull are the secondary ones, and Adrian Newey is now moved over to Aston Martin's side of things to be able to do that Aston Martin supercar project and stuff.
Yeah.
Because of that, now Adrian Newey, because Aston Martin's a major stakeholder, then Red Bull actually get Adrian Newey back as like a designer again.
Hopefully, yeah.
No, they do.
Do they?
Yep. So next 2 years, Adrian Newey, until his contract runs out, this is what I've seen and read in the news, Adrian Newey is back in Aston Martin Red Bull until in 2 years' time when his contract runs out, but I think he'll just stay because he enjoys the freedom that Red Bull gives him.
I can imagine. I want them to be back at the front. I basically want...
Because I like the drivers.
I love the drivers. Red Bull have got the best driver pairing, I think.
I think they're talented driver pairing.
Yeah.
Pairing, not individuals, but pairing.
I was on YouTube earlier.
Yeah.
And I was watching when Verstappen and Ricciardo they interviewed each other or had an interview with each other at Top of Eau Rouge. Have you seen that?
Yeah. It's
so funny. Like when he went, how was your summer? Probably a little too fun, and Ricciardo nearly lost it.
Yeah.
Just because he went to Ibiza.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being an F1 driver and going to Ibiza and partying with people from fucking...
Could you imagine the amount of slags you'd be like, I'm an F1 race winner. The amount of chlamydia he got imagine saying that.
Yeah. Going to sort of Ibiza, going from partying with supermodels on yachts in Monaco to partying with Greg, who's got 3 B-Techs and Hair and Beauty down in fucking Ibiza.
He wants to be a rep someday.
Yeah. Yeah. Force India. They've done okay this season.
What they're doing.
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them push more for podiums. Yes. Personally,
I would like to see them make a step up. I would love to see them win races. They're my favourite team. I support them, but
they're definitely best of the rest.
Yes, big time.
However, they need to cement that, and I'd like to see them try and nip in for a podium here and there. Like they've got the Mercedes engine, so maybe at Monza or someplace. Well, I just think Monza because straights, but like where it's engine heavy.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them really push for a podium. It'd probably get past the Red Bulls, probably.
Well, I don't think that they will get past the Red Bulls, but I think that they can make that step up. So they won't necessarily be top 3, but they will be, instead of being just in front of the midfield pack.
Yeah,
but
they're sort of in the
behind,
middle, just behind. Yeah,
because they finished a minute and a half behind. If Bottas hadn't pitted,
I saw that earlier. I looked at it was like midway through the race. I was looking at the times, and like the top 6 were so close to each other, and then it was Ocon in was it 6th or 6th? Yeah, and there was a 50-second gap, and it was like halfway through the race. It was mad.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with that.
And like Ocon was racing with Raikkonen at the start of the race as if he was sort of on par with them, and then Raikkonen just sets off.
I think that they just turn down the engines there as well. Like I don't think that they're super pushing it because like what's the point of wasting engines if you're not going to catch the front runner?
That's like when Verstappen went to overtake Ocon as well. Ocon just kind of let him pass because he wasn't going to race with him.
Well, considering that there will be like a massive crash if he really, really pushed him. Like, if it was for the race win, there could have been a massive crash. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah.
Actually,
you're right.
Might be, yeah, sorry, that's just all like a update game.
Keep cutting out, by the way.
Oh, fuck off. It's the one in the Ford Focus. Basically, you know, what you just heard outside?
Yeah.
You would expect that to be like a nice, like a Japanese sort of like drift car, something
Not
really
really
cool. What it actually is a maroon Ford Focus Estate with rust on the sills, and an exhaust kit they bought from Halfords for £12.50.
Hey, don't fucking knock Halfords.
I will knock Halfords because they've caused people in Vauxhall Corsas to think that they're allowed to finger 14-year-olds. So.
Well, they are. That it kind of comes with the Vauxhall Corsa, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's like in the handbook of the Vauxhall Corsa in the glove book, just like how to finger
Page 12, how to finger a 14-year-old. Only one finger to start with, as they most likely have only done it to themselves.
So how to page 11 before that, how to pick up 14-year-olds.
Hang out outside McDonald's car park.
Oh, fucking hell. Anyway.
Shitty Corsa. Yeah, this is meant to be an F1 podcast. We're talking about 14-year-olds. It's good. It's good.
This is the way it's going to go, I'm afraid.
This is the way to Alamori. Alright, let's do...
Renault. Renault's next I've got on the list. So
for next year.
Renault. Next year, they were a works team. They've got the guy from the FIA. They're a works team with a lot of promise. Do you think like they'll be able to challenge or maybe even beat Force India next year?
Yes, I think that they'll be able to challenge / beat Force India, but I'm to be fair, like they're not doing that bad. Like they need to.
They're not.
improve on
Science
their
was really
engine.
good today.
Yeah, like they've got 2 very good underrated drivers, and I personally just think that they're just doing pretty well. Like they're just cruising along. Next year, I'd rather see them a bit better.
Yeah.
But I don't actually like seeing every single team like I could say that for every single team, get better, get better. You know what I mean? So,
but I'd like to see Renault do better.
yeah.
Because they're sort of... I don't know, it's like...
Struggling
It's
a
tough
bit.
to say.
You've had half a
should
beer.
do better. They should do better. They have all the resources. They have a works team. They are a works team. They have all the resources. They have probably, I don't know what factory they have, but I can imagine it's a decent one.
Something.
Enstone?
There you go.
Yeah, probably a pretty decent factory.
Yeah.
But like the last few years since they've gone back to just Renault, it's been pretty disappointing. I mean, this year they've made a step up. Definitely a step up, especially a step up since they got rid of Palmer. But
What a melt that kid was.
yeah, but they haven't, in my opinion, they haven't really made a sufficient leap forward.
Yeah.
They've sort of they've got themselves into the midfield. They were midfield to. Oh fucking! I've just been mentioned in a comment on Facebook. One sec.
Oh wow. Get
Total
you.
manager.
I've just accidentally unplugged my headphones, so I didn't really hear that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to agree. Next one.
Basic. No, yeah, but I think
Alright.
they were sort of midfield to shit last year,
Yeah.
and they've gone to just about midfield this year. Probably
top
better
of
than
the
the Toro
midfield.
Rosso.
Top of the midfield.
I don't know. Force India's top of the midfield.
No, Force India's in a gap in its own, I think.
I think Force India is just at the top of the midfield, and that was shown today by Sainz challenging the 2 Force Indias.
Yeah, but that's like saying that Bottas
I think they're-
fought with the Force Indias.
I don't. If they were like in a gap, like that, I think it would just be those 2 out by themselves. But I don't think.
But-
No, I think they're not in a
but-
gap. I think they're just above the midfield.
But in F1, you could, like the Mercedes, right? Second fastest car or fastest car, but then like Hamilton finishes like when did he finish in Hungary? Like 6th or 7th? Behind
Hamilton,
Yeah.
4th.
In Hungary?
Yeah, because he gave the position back to
Oh, yeah, for
Bottas,
Tony.
didn't he?
But like, if you think about it, it's like everybody can fight with everybody. That's like last week how the Haas car passed. I can't remember which car. The Williams, I think. But like the Haas is probably not faster than the Williams, especially.
No, the Haas is not. The Haas is.
But like they were battling. The Williams and the Haas was battling. So
I see what you mean, but I don't think they're in their own. Yeah, I think they're
Fair
at the top
enough.
of the pile, but they're not in their own league.
That's what I think to that. But no,
Oh, don't respect my opinion, then you cunt.
I disagree. But I can completely see where you're coming from.
I respectively disagree. Why do you disagree? My opponent is a cunt.
And ginger, and a man.
Whoa.
Men are the cause of all hardships in the world. But
Calm it.
moving on to Toro Rosso.
Huh?
We're moving on to Toro Rosso.
Yes, Toro Rosso.
Um,
Next year, with the Honda engine, they're fucked. Personally, I think they're fucked, because McLaren had a great chassis this year,
Yeah.
but Toro Rosso don't. They are going to be shit on. They're going to be back with the Saubers, I think.
Do you think that Honda will actually
No.
improve though at all?
No, they've had 2015, 2016, and they said, 2017, yeah, we're really improved, and they fucked it completely. They said Alonso hadn't finished from 11 races this year.
Yeah.
David Cross was saying, that's not good enough.
No.
Like, performance-wise, sure, they might be able to just about catch up to the Renaults, maybe if they really tried, but they have no reliability whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, the reliability is worse than... I was going to try and make a funny thing there, but I can't think of one because the reliability is that bad.
But the reason that the reliability is that bad is because they're pushing so hard on the engine because the engine is so slow that the engine's got to work like twice as hard as the Mercedes just to be closer to the Renault. So they started off on the wrong foot a year after the new engine regs came in, and they're a year behind on everyone. It's simple.
Yeah.
On performance, they're a year behind on everyone. If they started in 2014, I think that they would have been just ahead of the Renault. Just ahead. But it's their reliability because they're pushing it too hard because everybody's a year ahead. So you're just already on the back foot. So they need just a reset in the regulations. But that's what Red Bull's manufacturer will be. Because Red Bull's engine manufacturer, when the new regs come in 2019, they will either do Honda if Honda's doing good, or if it's not, they're just going to settle with the new manufacturer that will come in. So yeah.
Move closer to your mic, by the way.
Yeah, I cut out there. Bollocks, that hurt. So next
team I've got is Haas.
Haas. I don't know how long. Fucking shut up.
It's the engine outside, by the way. You need to shut your window or whatever. You just cut out completely there, and you're not even making any.
So this guy. So
fucking hell! What is he doing?
He's just driving up and down a little cunt. Should I spit on him? Should I throw my chicken chow mein on him?
You just keep cutting out. That's the only issue, mate.
I said, should I throw my chicken chow mein at him?
I heard that, but as you said, he cut out at him. You went
okay.
him.
Well, Haas. I think that they will last another 5 years in F1. But I think that, I don't see Gene Haas actually pulling out. He will always be able to afford it because of his NASCAR team. His NASCAR team is giving him the money to be able to do F1. But I don't see them actually ever being that competitive. I don't see them as a Minardi, obviously, but I don't see them as a sort of ever going to do what Force India have done. Because Force India have done it so right.
Yeah.
And I think that Haas have got a long way to go. A long way to go. Next year, I hope that they, again, like every team, do well. But I would like to see them... like to see them just work a little bit better.
Harder. Yeah. The thing I've got with Haas is... I think at the start of the season, like normal, they'll be alright.
Yeah.
But they just... They all. It seems like they stopped development after fucking Bahrain.
Uh-huh.
They just stop. And, like, last season it was mainly obvious. This season they've been a little bit better, but last season it was so obvious. Like, last season they had a sixth. They went sixth in Australia, fifth in Bahrain. Then they had an 8th place in Russia, a 7th in Austria, where it's just speed. And after that, other than a 10th place finish in America, they scored no points. This season, up until Canada. Actually, to be fair, Haas scored in every bar Australia and Russia. They scored in every race up until Britain, and then they've scored sort of here and there.
I didn't actually realise that. Ooh,
they've done okay in Japan. They both scored in Japan.
Yeah.
But they just seem to stop development after like a quarter of the season.
Yeah. It's just...
And I don't... Probably because they want to focus on next year, but like...
I don't think they have stopped. I don't think they've stopped. I just don't think
they just don't go anywhere near as fast, as much as the teams around them.
Yeah, that's true. Williams, what do you want to see Williams do next year? Bring in Kubica.
I'd like to see them back at their 2014 pace, and I would like to see Kubica driving for them if they're fast enough.
I would like to see them consistent. Rather than sort of having one weekend.
This year they have been
really
very
fast,
inconsistent.
big time. So I would like to see them be a bit more consistent, and I would also like to see Lance Stroll. I don't rate him, but I don't mind that he's in F1 because I don't see anyone else that would take his place, really. And I think that Massa should really let it go now. Like, he's consistent.
Massa should,
but he needs to let the young breed come through.
Massa, like. He's been such a... He's been a good driver for most of his years in F1, but this year he sort of... This year I think he showed his age. He's been pretty consistent. finishes.
He's been
pretty consistent in the points finishes, but like
he's been absolutely wrecking Stroll. But that's because Stroll was Stroll. But so you know how I said earlier how the Force India are not in the midfield, they're in a class of their own between both midfield and normal and top three. Red Bull 315 points, Force India 160 points, Williams 70. So
I don't think they're in a class of their own.
Literally halfway between both of them.
I still don't think they're in a class of their own. I think they're at the front of the midfield, but they're not in the class of their own.
Fair enough.
Because I think if they're in the class of their own, they wouldn't be able to get caught by Renault or Williams.
But that's...
quite often on occasions, like they've had 7th and 10th, 6th and 7th, 4th and 5th, then 13th and 12th, and 7th and 8th, and 9th and 8th, 9th and 8th, meaning there was another car in front of them, 17th and 9th, 9th, 10th, 10th. So they have been beaten in those races. If they're in a class of their own, they're more consistent than the other teams. They've got the consistency nailed down with two pretty good drivers who have performed pretty well, but they're still being beaten quite often by other teams, which is why I don't think they are.
But you could also say the same thing about Red Bull's better than Ferrari because Red Bull keep on Verstappen caught and overtook Raikkonen. Whether that position was valid or not is another question.
That was simply because I think Raikkonen was sort of trying to play second fiddle like Bottas. His role today was to try and help Vettel, like Bottas's role today was to try and help Hamilton.
Yeah, but it still doesn't mean the fact that they would all catch.
And Verstappen also started on the super soft one for a longer first stint, meaning he was able to be on fresher tyres at the end.
But
he even stopped again, didn't he?
But if you're using that excuse, then you could say he also started 15th.
Started 15th, but he was up into
13th at the end of the first lap.
Third lap 3, he was up to P10.
Yes, 13th. Considering he started 15th, and he's in one of the.
That's Red Bull are in a faster car than everyone else, meaning he could cut through the field like nothing. He also didn't have to stop as late. So decent tyres as well. He was putting in good lap time, so he was able to sort of keep up or keep ahead
but
of
still
many
so far
of the others.
Behind everyone because he lost because at the start he was like certain positions away.
He was certain positions away, but he was in such a better car than everyone else below him.
Yeah.
Everyone else in all the other teams. He started on softer tyres, meaning he could catch up to the pack and catch up to them quite easily. They were on ultras, but they had to pit early, and when they pit early, he led the race for a bit because he was still on pretty decent tyres, putting in good lap times. The gap between the super soft and the ultra soft is nowhere near the gap between the super soft and the soft, I think, because when you have a look at Vettel did okay on his softs. He managed. He won super softs, didn't he? Because he tried the two-stop. Yes. Which didn't really pay off for him.
Well, it didn't, because Hamilton was already even pace.
It didn't. It could have gone bad.
It didn't pay off, but it kept it the same.
Yeah, I think it could have gone really badly for him.
Yeah. So, moving on to
McLaren. Who have I got then? McLaren. Next year with the Renault engine, I think they could be a Red Bull. Like, they have a good chassis, a bit of not a great engine, but they have a decent. They've got a good chassis.
But I don't know how they're gonna how the whole field's gonna cope, because if McLaren are better, and Red Bull will obviously improve next year, but Ferrari will or won't, and Mercedes will or won't. I think that maybe there might be a change.
I really hope it's a return to 2012.
I don't think everyone will be the same.
Or return to 2010, or return to 2010 when everyone's sort of. It's a big thing.
I don't think that everybody will be in it.
Neither do I. It's just me being really optimistic. I think Mercedes will trounce it next year.
I think what it will be is I think that there'll be two classes. I think that there'll be Mercedes off by themselves, or Ferrari and Mercedes, but Mercedes is quicker than Ferrari again. Then, because of Red Bull with the engine-wise, it will be between Red Bull and McLaren, and then it will go Force India will be ahead of Williams, but Renault will be same with Force India. So it'll just go 2 by 2. So Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, Force India, Renault, Williams, Haas, and then it will go
Sauber and Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
I think it will actually go 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, because just looking at the table now and looking at who's going to jump up, I think it'll just be 2 by 2 by 2. Which will be good, because that means there will always be a race that means something. Like how last year Williams and Force India, that like even though the championship was the championship was on a tenterhooks, but whenever it was like a boring race, everyone was like, oh my god, what's happening with the Williams and the Force India? So like I think next year it will be good, and I think Sauber should be good next year as well. I think that Sauber they won't be front runners at all. They won't be at the front runners of the midfield, but I think that they'll be where Toro Rosso is now. And I think Toro Rosso might be left behind a little bit. Back to their old Minardi days. So yeah, that's what I quite like that little discussion, Tom. It's very interesting. But
yeah,
are we going to go through quick both like teams and how that went today for each of the teams, and then we'll do a quick race roundup, and then we'll go on to predictions for next weekend.
All right. Now, I've got my things for the teams. I thought Mercedes, they won the Constructors' title today.
Yeah.
Well done to them.
Yeah.
It was solid as usual. It was a good race
Tactical
win.
Race.
But Bottas was disappointing towards the end. But, he did do a job for the team.
He did do a job for the team, but also he shouldn't have to do that job for the team if he was good enough to be able to do it, if that makes sense.
Ferrari, I thought they had a brilliant start,
Yeah.
but they struggled with tyres almost immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was, but they did. Raikkonen, I thought, had a pretty solid race. Vettel had to try something different towards the end because what he was doing on the one stop just wasn't working.
Yeah.
But in the end, fair to say, it didn't really work.
I think Raikkonen should retire.
Do you? I think he's nowhere near as fast as he
Ferrari
was.
shouldn't get rid of him. He's a perfect person to be back rear gunner. But for the sake of the sport, I don't think he should stay. I think they should bring through Charles Leclerc.
I don't really mind whatever they do.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, carry on then.
Red Bull, Ricciardo's drive originally was so promising.
Our man Dan.
But I fucking loved it. Ricciardo, he's my favourite driver, but it was just when he retired, it was so disappointing. Verstappen was really good. He led the race before the pit stops. Yeah, he did.
Good.
You always looked dangerous, and his overtaking was always on show. I do think he should have been given a penalty for the last one.
Why do people hate him so much? I know he's a bit reckless. Yeah, but loads of people hate him.
Because he's reckless and he's dangerous in that way.
But then surely that people should hate Alonso, because Alonso is like a massive. I don't want to say bad boy because that sounds so dodgy, but like
Alonso's not a bad boy. But...
He is. He is. Have you not seen what he's like always saying? But so like, all right. So anyway, I'll save that rant for another podcast, probably an off-season podcast, because I need something to talk about. Fucking ranting with Will. I'll have a few drinks and I get fucking leery. But,
we should both just drink ourselves to death and just...
Every single time we mention the name, we hate Lewis Hamilton or whatever, then we just have to drink.
Yeah. Anyway, Force India. It's a solid race. Ocon was good. Perez was
Ocon's
decent.
Going to be the next big thing, I swear.
Nothing. I didn't think it was anything spectacular. I liked how they had the race engineer on the Sky, which was always... I enjoy that. I enjoy...
Omar Otzmeyer.
Yeah, I enjoy listening in and talking to. I think it's like quite interesting.
Yeah, I like it too. I think that's really good from Sky. Quick thing before we move on to the next team. You know how they were doing all the breast cancer stuff, and you know how normally I'm a bit of a knobhead, but I really, really like the fact that they did that. I think that's so good. The fact that they did a cancer charity and they changed all the things to pink for the cancer. I thought that was really cool. Because it brings in new fans who might, let's say, be female and go, do you know what, actually, they do care. I quite like this, I'm going to start watching. And also, it's just a real nice gesture, isn't it?
It is. It's a nice gesture. It was well done as well, I thought.
Yes, it wasn't over the top.
It could have been.
Fucking start!
It could have been over the top. It could have been utterly butchered the way they did it as well. But they did it well. They did it nicely. Yeah. Yeah, the start. I didn't mind the start. I thought it was quite, but I can see why you didn't like it because you just hate fun.
I saw a kid laughing today, and I kicked his ice cream out his hand.
Yeah, you just cut out massively.
I said that I saw a kid smiling today, so I kicked his ice cream out his hand, and he cried, and I was well happy.
Oh my god. Okay. I don't know. I should have just ignored it. Shouldn't have made you repeat that.
Yeah.
I've got Toro. No, sorry. Next one down. Renault. Hulkenberg out very early on, upsetting from his point of view. That's 4. Tired.
You cut out then, champ.
Hulkenberg out early on, upsetting from his point of view. I think I think it's 4 years in a row he's retired from the US Grand Prix, isn't it?
It's not his place, is it? It's not
his place. No, it's not. Sainz looked good on his Renault debut, challenging the Force Indias.
I was looking at the Renault thinking, do you know what? That car has so much potential.
Yeah, it's a decent car, especially with Sainz, because you've got Hulkenberg, who's very consistent endurance racing. He likes to do all that kind of shit,
and he's good.
Yeah, he's decent pace, and he can go for quite a while. He's consistent. Sainz is more of a kind of he could do something. You never know.
But they're both the same level when it comes to pace and consistency. So like Hulkenberg was massively better than Palmer, massively.
Oh
better.
yeah, because Palmer's shit.
Yeah,
you know
they're both Sainz and Hulkenberg, both real good drivers, really good drivers.
Yeah. All right, I got Toro Rosso. I thought Harley. I thought he had a decent debut considering the amount of practice and thing he had compared to all the other drivers.
I was gonna say he didn't finish high, but when he had to post in the laps,
he could
on his new tyres.
Yeah,
he did.
Then you have Kvyat. I thought he performed pretty well coming in 10th. Enough to save himself? Probably not.
He's had too many opportunities.
He has.
Why do they have him in the Red Bull Junior program?
What do you mean?
So
he was really promising in the early formulas. Kvyat.
Yeah, I know, but why do they still have him there? Because it's not like they're going to bring him up.
I don't know. Probably contract, if I'm honest. Probably he has quite a high payout in his contract because he was at Red Bull when he signed the contract.
I don't think that they. I think that Helmut Marko doesn't do high payouts unless you have a particular certain like.
I think also it's the money for sponsorship as well. It's the amount of money he's probably bringing in.
What, Russia?
Yeah, like he's.
But Russia don't drink Red Bull because they're only allowed to drink state-sponsored stuff.
Ha. No, but the amount of money he's bringing in from
Red Bull. Yeah.
Like oligarch. I don't know if you get probably oligarchs.
He's got sponsors. He's got his own sponsors.
He's got a lot of sponsors. Yeah.
But so does Gasly.
I think Kvyat has more than Gasly because he's got more of a name than Gasly.
Same, but Red Bull is the main sponsor. Like, you don't need them to survive. They're not really.
I think they're just keeping him there for sponsorships.
To a manufacturer.
Like, you've got the choice. You either kick him and get no sponsorship, or you keep him and get sponsorships. Which would you choose?
To be fair, there was nobody that actually Gasly wasn't ready for that seat.
You might as well just fucking keep him for the sponsorships.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Rather than ruining your time with Yeah, okay. But so, yeah. What's the next one? Haas.
I had Williams next, but let's go on to Haas. I said it was a really disappointing home race. What do you expect? No development really during the season. Two drivers who
you really don't like Haas, do you?
I don't know. I like them. They've got two drivers who
I don't like K-Mag.
They're both drivers who think they're a lot better than they actually are.
Yeah, I love Grosjean. Grosjean's funny, but
Grosjean's funny, but
he complains too much and he thinks he's the big dog.
They both think they're great drivers. K-Mag thinks he's Verstappen, and Grosjean thinks he's like him.
Was a really quick driver when he was first at McLaren, and now he's just a cockend.
He was all right. He had a good race in Australia, but that's about it for K-Mag. He was pretty mediocre for the rest of the season.
Raw pace, he's actually quite a quick person.
Yeah, I just think they've had the Haas isn't a great car. They haven't got amazing drivers to pull it out the bag like McLaren do with Alonso.
Yeah.
And it's just they've stopped development. The car's not great. What else do you expect from them, really?
Maybe they haven't actually stopped development. Maybe they just don't have the ability to be able to develop as
probably.
much.
They probably don't have the same budget as the other teams.
Yeah, it's like Williams.
Yeah. But then I got Williams. Nice segue into Williams.
Yeah.
I said not great. Stroll's race was really, really badly fucked up by his lockup in turn 1 on the first lap. Had to stop on lap. Yeah, to stop on like lap 10. Yeah.
That's probably because of that.
Yeah,
Wait, everyone was stopping on like lap 13 though, like for the 2 stops.
No, I can't remember when he stopped really early, ridiculously early. That kind of hampered his race. Massa finishing 9th was decent, but like they were nowhere near the Force Indias. Like they're meant to be their main rivals, and it looked like Renault were the main rivals today.
Yeah.
Williams they're challenging them throughout the season. They have had a few decent results against them, but like, come on, where's, like you said earlier, where's the consistency with them?
It seems like there's no passion ever since the thing's taken over.
Since
when Claire Williams took over, apart from 2014, there has not been the same. I mean, before that, the team was also shocking, but like they were so good in 2014, and then they have just gone.
Yeah, you just completely cut out there.
Yeah, I know. I saw they're just gone.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's annoying. It's But yeah, what else can you really do? It's just
good analysis from us. Each time someone's not done well, we go, "What else can you do?"
Like they I don't know if they have the same. They probably don't have the same kind of finances and the same kind of facilities as the major teams.
Yeah.
But they probably have better facilities than most of the midfield, considering how long they've been in the game.
Yes.
But 2014 was really good for them. Massive leap from 2013.
Yes, definitely.
Surprised most of us. It really surprised me.
Yeah.
But whilst other teams like Force India were okay in 2014, and they've slowly grown. 2014, 2015, 2016. Now 2017, I cut out there. I saw that, but they've sort of they've grown over that time to sort of build themselves up. Whilst Williams have just slipped back, as if they haven't been developing the car as quickly or as well as the other teams.
I mean, they all have been developing. They just haven't developed that well.
No, exactly. They've just sort of. It's almost like 2014. They thought, oh, okay, now we're front runners.
Yeah.
And they've just sort of become complacent almost.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree with that. But
it's annoying. But then you got the last one here. 2 to go. Let's go for McLaren. Alonso's engine problem spoiled what could have been a really solid race.
But they're getting rid of Honda anyway, so there's no point in ranting that much.
Van Dorn was very mediocre in 12th. And the lack of engine power really was evident.
Van Dorn, can I just say, Van Dorn, do you remember when everyone was saying, "Oh my god, he's going to be one of the best. He's going to be one of the best."
I think you were saying that.
Yeah, I know I was. Dominated GP2, like one of the best drivers, and then all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, Van Dorn finished 9th. Wow." Like, where is that Max Verstappen style performances and stuff like that? Like, even in a Toro Rosso, Max Verstappen was doing things that you just didn't think were possible in F1.
I think that's just Verstappen. I genuinely think Verstappen will be a great. He's got that flair about him. He does. I think the difference is Verstappen. If you were to see a gap, a bit of a dangerous gap, you don't know whether you should go into it or not.
Van Dorn,
Magnussen, possibly Sainz. You've got Palmer for sure. You've got those drivers who wouldn't do it. They wouldn't go for it. They sort of look at it and go, no, that's a bit too dangerous. Daniel Ricciardo, he might give it a go. Probably, yes or no. Depends how late he has to get on the brakes. And if it's anything past the braking point, then he's like, yeah, let's fucking go, mate.
Yeah. I'm a team player.
But Verstappen, 100% of the time, will fucking go for it.
Yeah.
If that overtake around the outside of Sainz in Belgium on the left hand, fucking Christ. Like.
What, on Sainz, did you say?
Was it on Sainz? Who was it on?
Sauber Ericsson.
Eric, yeah, but you know what I mean. When he was in the Toro Rosso, and he's just like, you know what, let's fucking give it a go.
Yeah.
Just stuck his foot down to the floor and went.
But he's like that's what I like about him being in this position, is that he's got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not go for it? Is what he thinks.
Yeah. And then I've got Sauber. As usual, pretty shit. Ericsson given a penalty towards the end for an incident with Magnussen, and Verline out early in race. They really do need to improve for next year. They are rock bottom of the pack.
New financial investment will help, but I don't think it will do miracles.
Hopefully, they are compared to where they were in 2012 when Perez was challenging Alonso in Malaysia for the fucking lead of the race.
That was to do with tyres.
Yeah, but the Sauber was good that year. Yeah. It was a good car. Yeah. And since then, they've just fucked it. Like, in 2014... Was it 2014 or 2013? 2013, I think. First year they went blue.
2014. 2013 they were grey, because that's when Thingy went, whoa, what was that? Oh, no, sorry. 2015. 2015.
No, 2014. It was 2014.
Are you sure? Because
was it 2015?
2014 was when the new engines came in, and the Renault and Maldonado raced for Lotus. And that's when
when the fucking Lotus had the forks on the front.
Yeah, let me find this.
But Nasser finished 5th in his first race.
Grey. Yeah.
And where the fuck have they gone since then?
No fucking clue, friend.
They have gone all the way to the back of the field.
Yeah.
And it's been depressing because they used to be the dark. They used to be the Force India. They were the dark horse.
They used to have the best looking cars as well. Do you remember when we used to orgasm over the Saubers? The 2012 one.
Well, when they had the black nose and we're like,
yeah. 2012 just made me. I came every single time I saw one. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. And now they're just, their cars now. They're so good looking again. But I mean, come on, they have their own wind tunnel.
I don't think they're very good looking.
What, the ones this year? Okay, right. Well, I don't want to get angry. I'm about to have a diabetic fit, so calm it. But yeah, like
I want to put you into that fit. Let's fucking go, boys.
So now that we've done that roundup of the teams, I want to just do a quick race roundup. Interesting race. The start, the starting, all walking out and stuff like that. It was fun. But I just thought it was a bit stupid.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was quite funny.
I thought that it was funny, but then
it's not going to happen at any of the other circuits.
And then when Hamilton came out and he was doing all the dabs and trying to think he's Anthony Joshua, I was like, no, mate, you're not.
I have a feeling this isn't so much of a.
You're a vegan, mate.
Coming out. This is more of a rant about Hamilton again.
He's vegan and thinks he can beat someone up. The only thing a vegan can beat up is a lettuce. So just give up on life. No, just give up. Give up, because it's just not something that anybody wants to see. It's just someone being a cocky prick. But the race itself, it was interesting. I watched it all the way through. I wouldn't watch it again. It's not like Azerbaijan.
I'd watch Azerbaijan again.
Yeah, of course. And certain races this year, I probably would also watch again. But that wasn't one of them. It was a good race. Overtakes. There were a lot of overtakes. There was a lot of but it just sort of I can't remember bits of it. And Azerbaijan, I could at the time.
That's because you were just absolutely blind drunk.
Yeah, and also wanking. But apart from that,
Alice was there with you, wasn't she?
Yeah, I spent between laps 7 and 12 apologising. so I'm
sorry. Oh, nice overtake. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So
Tommy Wonka.
But yeah, so shame about Ricciardo. Everyone knew Hamilton would win. It's nice to see that Hamilton actually caught him up and overtook him. And yeah, it was just a decent race. It
was alright. Wasn't bad. Wasn't great. It was
if
pretty
Mexico
average.
was like that or better, I'd be really happy.
I really hope Mexico's just like Perez goes and races in a fucking Ferrero.
Or just stops being such a cock end.
I'd love it if you're racing a sombrero with like a front and a rear wing. Like you're not completely.
I would
safe.
love it if Esteban Ocon raced with the Mexican flag over his rear wing, so it set fire from the exhaust and then burnt because Esteban Ocon and Perez aren't good friends.
So basically, you just want to see Esteban Ocon get a podium, walk up onto the podium, and set fire to the Mexican flag.
Yeah, I know, but like for him to walk up to the podium, it would be difficult because the size of his balls, if he did that, would be dragging him down.
I'd absolutely love like someone to step up onto the podium wearing a Trump "Make America Great Again" hat,
or like a wall.
Oh my god!
But so.
Was that a fart?
Yeah, it was a little bit. But whilst we're getting distracted, so next race, Mexico. That was a good segue. So, who do you think?
Build a wall. What?
I've got two things for this because we don't really need to go crazy about the build-up, but
or building walls.
Build-up of the wall, but
Segways.
Welcome to Segways. So I'm going to suggest a top 3 and from this race, like your top 3 best performances of this race. So one is third place is obviously third, and first place is the person you think did the best job, and then we'll do predictions for next week.
All right.
So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll go first with who I think's done the best this race,
and then I'll go.
And then you go. But you go first for predictions, okay?
Okay.
Hello, Steve. Now I think best 3 drivers. Third place, Lewis Hamilton. As much as you don't like him, he drove a solid race. All he needs to do, decent pace.
Yeah.
Second was probably Sainz. He did well.
Mine's the exact same as yours so far, and I know who your number 1 is.
And I think the first one's going to be first as well. I mean, it's got to be Pascal Wehrlein. No.
I was going to say Jolyon Palmer.
Max Verstappen.
Yes, I completely agree with all of them because I thought Sainz actually made me think. Like, I was really impressed with his performance today. He didn't do anything amazing. He just
solid debut.
Yeah, completely agree.
Showed what Jolyon Palmer should have been doing.
Exactly, precisely. So, yeah, that's really interesting how we predicted the exact same people. But so we're going to go on to predictions now. So pole position. Do you want me to go first? I'm going to go for my top 3. I'm
pole position.
Hamilton.
Yeah, you go first.
Pole.
Yep, pole.
Second, Vettel. Third, Bottas.
Yep. I'm going to go. Pole's going to be Hamilton. Second, Vettel. Third's Verstappen.
Verstappen.
Yeah,
do you think they're going to bring real low aero to the back straight?
Yeah, I think what they did in Monza almost really quite low aero, and I think during the middle and the last part of the track when it's quite windy, you need decent downforce. I think that Red Bull will do pretty well.
Red Bull was following so well in traffic, like that's what they do. So I think because their front end is so pointy, they won't need to have any rear downforce. So you know how like at Monza they had that rear wing where as soon as DRS opens, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to have this time. But, so, okay. Race predictions.
I actually think Vettel will win. I think Vettel will win because Hamilton will be playing it cautious. I think Vettel will win, Hamilton second, and I think... I want to say Bottas, but I have a strange feeling it'll be one of the Red Bulls. Probably, especially with that first corner, he get right light on the brakes. He's gonna be fucking Danny Rick.
You know how like there is a corner on that like it's a chicane, but if you actually take the corner, you can take like a normal corner around the outside because there's that runoff area. I think Ricciardo's just gonna drive that rather than taking a chicane. He's just gonna be like, "Fuck all of you guys."
Danny Rick's gonna go down the straight. It's a fucking corner there. Fucking alright. There's a 50-meter board. Slam on the brakes.
Fucking.
First corner is just going to be everyone else is braking early. Danny Rick just like, fuck it, let's go, boys. Fucking Struth.
Well, now so, yeah. I don't know. So, I think that Hamilton will actually win. Then I think it will be Vettel in third because he will have... I don't think he'll have a problem, but I think he'll mess up strategy. And I think it will be... Bottas in fourth, and I reckon it'll be one of the Red Bulls in second. But if I had to pick,
come on, mate.
Ricciardo will have to have a penalty next race, so it'll be Verstappen.
All right.
Yeah, because Verstappen took his penalty this race, so yes, definitely. Yeah, Verstappen in second. But next race, do you think Hamilton will actually win the championship? He needs to get, I think, he's got 17 points. Does he need only 17 points in the next race? Oh, God, I've gone off the tab. Yeah, it said 17 points in the next race for him to clinch the title. So that is...
I don't think he'll clinch the title next race. I reckon he'll do Brazil.
I think he'll do it in Brazil. And then he'll go, thank you, you're the best fans. Ayrton Senna was my idol.
Oh my God, this is the best moment of my life.
Could you imagine if the podium interview was done by Ayrton Senna's corpse?
He's got like a completely mashed up face when Max Mosley shot him.
He's still got the suspension piece in his face. It's just like, oh man, thanks for the gift, Ayrton, and he just pulls it out of his skull. As it's like he's on puppet strings, so it's like Team America is bopping along to the podium. It's like, if you no longer go for an interview that exists.
Yeah, this is basically all this podcast is going to be. Just we take a topic and then just start making horrible jokes about the deceased.
The lives and times of the Tom and Will show.
Getting cancelled from YouTube.
So, to finish it off, what would you give this race out of 10? You fucking slut. Out of 10.
Probably a 6, 7 maybe. Probably is an average
I'll
race.
give it a 6.5. It was an average race, but it was still, there was stuff happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, that wraps up our first F1 podcast. Hashtag last few races of the season. But,
hashtag probably should have started sooner.
Hashtag crippling depression. But, so, yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, please do whatever. Don't fucking know. Also, don't take anything that we've said in this thing literally. We don't actually believe any of this offensive jokes we may have said, apart from my dislike towards a lot of people. But Lewis Hamilton can fuck himself, but apart from that, just don't take too much offence to it, because we don't actually mean it. But,
I do.
Apart from Tom, but Tom is a member of a certain organisation called the KKK.
I thought no. You could have made a really funny joke.
Yeah, right.
Apart from Tom, because he's a member of a certain organisation called the Labour Party, you could have made a really funny political edgy joke there. But
Tom.
You decided to miss out on. I do not condone violence, except if it's against will.
Or flying a plane into a tower. But apart from that, he loves it. But yeah. Thank you very much for everyone for watching or listening. Sorry. Next race next week in Mexico, probably another evening one. So yeah, suck my cock.
Or you could just say bye, like any thanks for watching, or thanks for listening, like any other normal human being.
Fine. Alright, bye.